Hola fanáticos de deporte, bienvenidos al Gran Premio de Mexico. Hello sports fans and welcome back to the Sports Report. This week we are in Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. This was possibly one of the greatest races I think I've seen all season, objectively. Just the race in itself was fucking fantastic. So shout out to Formula One for giving me an exciting Monday morning. This week's media, there are a few fun little stories. We'll start off with something a little bit lighthearted. Of course, last week, Franco Colapinto was beefing with his teammate and beefing his team. I didn't mention it last week and I got actually a comment about it being like, why didn't you talk about this? I think the story has matured and developed, has become better anyway. He was in the media being like, history isn't created by cowards. And I just think it's funny that like, babe, we are competing for like P17, but like pop off. You are not wrong. I mean, you do need to be beefing your teammate, particularly when your number one op in life is Alpine. You've got to be not being a coward. Anyway, I think it was funny. He's not wrong. He's actually bang on the fucking money. So well done to Franco Colapinto for standing his fucking ground. This week as well, it was revealed that Lando Norris is no longer going to be facing his ominous repercussions for Singapore because apparently Oscar was at fault for the lap 1 incident during the sprint race last week. So now instead of just one person having repercussions, they're both gonna have repercussions. This brings me to my conspiracy theory that I'm jumping on the bandwagon if they've done something to his fucking car. Oh, unless there's just some kind of Australian curse that like you can be leading the world championship for X amount of time before you've just gotta fuck it up. But anyway, it's not a nice feeling at the moment, but I do stand by my cancelled wife. Even though his car is shit from a butt and he is shit from a butt and everything is shit from a butt right now, I still have blind faith, and that's what you've got to do. You know, this morning when I was watching, I got so desperate that I put on like incense and I like surrounded myself with crystals, and then he made like a massive overtake. So that's what I'm saying. You do just need a little bit of delusional confidence and you will survive. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. The cost cap is back. Apparently 2 teams last year breached the cost cap, so they will be facing immense repercussions. Now, I'd read that it was Aston Martin, and I believe that it's been confirmed or something that it is Aston Martin. And then once again, because apparently everyone in the F1 media doesn't have a fucking head on their shoulders, I saw someone saying that it was both Mercedes and McLaren. If it was one of the big teams as well, I feel like whoever leaked this would have been like, they wouldn't be as interested in the fact that it was Aston Martin, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fork is found in the kitchen in the sense that you've got a billionaire for an owner and you're just like a midfield team. Like, why would we realistically give a fuck if it was McLaren or Mercedes? However, with that being said, they could have some shut your fucking mouth money left over after they spent it all last year, apparently. I guess we'll find out when eventually someone gets fined. Last piece of media, because I don't want to yap about media for too long. Tapegate. Some Red Bull mechanics decided that it would be a grand fucking idea for them to try and fiddle with the tape that McLaren have put out for Lando Norris getting in his box. And I just think maybe Red Bull should get out of Lando Norris's box. The whole thing just screams desperate. Like, we are so desperate to take this guy down that we're going to use tape. I like as well that then he got in the media and was like, I don't even use that fucking tape. Like, I haven't used it for like months. Like, I didn't even use it. I then also heard that apparently they tried to do it like another time and they had 2 pieces of tape and they took off one and it revealed another one that had like, nice try, fucker. I wish that's what it said, but I think it was just like, try again. Bring back swearing. Free Practice 1 was riddled with children this year and Pato Award, because he's not really a child. And Fred Vesti. And who was the Ferrari guy? He's not really a child either. Anyway, it was riddled with children. 9 people, 9 randoms they let in the fucking cars. And George took that as a sign that it's time for him to fuck off and go and sit in the stands with a Mexican wrestling mask on. So well done to him for using his time wisely instead of like everyone else who just sat on the pit wall like fucking losers. Oh, God, you guys would never have the diva of George Russell. What are you going to do when George Russell retires and there's no more entertainment in Formula One? Let's get to the race now because that's what we are here to talk about. Longest run into turn one ever. We were primed for some action. There were 4 people wide. They were in their formation error. Max decided he'd had enough of being a Formula One driver and decided to open a lawn mowing business and headed off the track. And George Russell was so perplexed at the idea that 4-time world champion Max Verstappen would quit the race 5 seconds in and become a lawnmower driver that he also drove off the track. He didn't really have any involvement in that, and I will actually go back and like eat my words if he did have some reason to go off the track. I'm like just 90% sure he just drove off just because he felt like it. Charles had like 4 seconds in the lead before he was just immediately overtaken by Lando, but it was fun to see someone who wasn't Lando Norris in the lead because then for the rest of the laps he was gone. Lando fucked off into the middle of nowhere, so thank God I can stop talking about him now. He won, bloody blah blah blah. Oscar fucked it up. To put it kindly, he lost. He was in 8th and then he went down to 10th because why would you want to be higher in the points? No, why would you do that? Lap 1 was pretty cray-cray because, yeah, everyone was just driving off the track, didn't really feel like being on the track. Looked away, looked back, we were on lap 3. It's crazy how fast the laps be going past because then on lap 6, we decided to have a repeat of lap 1 and Max and Lewis decided to beef each other. Lewis drove off the track but didn't take the escape road, so got in mega trouble for that. And then Ollie Behrman was there. Girl, what are you doing there? He got driver of the day, rightfully so, because he boots the house. Maybe the Ferrari engine suddenly, they like prayed to the Catholic Church enough and like the Ferrari engine just did immaculately in Mexico. I know there's like a pretty high population of Catholics in Mexico, so maybe they just prayed to the fucking Ferrari lords above and suddenly the Ferrari was doing really well because I'm pretty sure, actually, this diabolical graphic. What do you mean the American team? I know they've like got a post where their like drivers are lining up, but like never forget. Anyway, here's to Ferrari. Forza Ferrari. Ollie Behrman overtook Max Verstappen. None of those words are in the Bible. I thought we were on for another like random rookie podium. We weren't because of some weird pit drama. I'm gonna be honest. After a certain amount of time, I wanted Ollie Behrman's career to end so that Oscar could at least finish 4th and not lose his championship lead, but I did GAF at the end of the day. It took Oscar like 11 laps to get around Yuki Tsunoda, and then he was kind of just like watching the arse of the Mercedes, both of them, for like a good amount of the rest of the race. So sucks to suck for Oscar Piastri. Carlos Sainz was also bumping along in the pit lane, and then eventually at the end of the race decided to DNF. Nico Hulkenberg retired, Fernando Alonso retired. I didn't catch what laps they were on, so sorry. Radios this race were crazy. Max asked GP what his strategy was, and he was like, I don't know. Or he asked like, am I coming in or something? He's like, no, stay out. And then he like called up the strategists but left Max on. So it was like that scene in Mean Girls where it's like, oh, she's so annoying. Who is this? Wrong 9. That was literally the situation that was going down at Red Bull. Peace and love to GP, but it was kind of embarrassing. And then George radios.
Fuck it, I've got a car in my...
Put them all over the screen. They were great. There was one that they didn't play on the Sky broadcast. It was like, this jackass looks like it's his first karting race, and talking about his teammate. Eventually, Oscar Piastri, they did their usual fakey, like, box to overtake Antonelli, and then they didn't, and then Antonelli came into the pits, Oscar followed, Oscar got a better pit stop, came out ahead of him, and I think that was the story of how he got around George Russell after that. Later on, Gabriel Bortoleto overtook Isaac Hadjar, which I believe I had both of them on Grid Rival, so it's like, if y'all could not do that, That would be great. Please do not beef each other. You can beef anyone else on the track, just not each other, because I need you two to both do well. Oh, I forgot to mention, millennia ago, Liam Lawson retired. Could not tell you why. Because he had like front wing damage right at the start of the race, and then a couple of laps later they cut to him in the garage, and I'm like, the fuck is he doing there? So yeah, he retired. I don't know why, because I'm not a mind reader. And yeah, he was stuck in the pit for like 20 laps before they finally said, yeah, that bitch is out. Now let's get to the VSC of it all. In the last 3 laps, we had 2 major battles going down. We had the battle for second place in the podium, and then we had the battle for 4th place. Oscar needed that 4th place to stay ahead of Lando in the championship. He's still like, they're like 1 point apart. I'm trying to save that for the end so that I don't like go off on a tangent. He needed to be 4th to stay ahead of Lando in the championship, and of course Max just wanted to be 2nd because he's greedy. As that's going down, Sainz decides, don't really feel like finishing it, so I'm just going to park up on the side here, boys. They call a yellow flag, I'm crashing out. And after a couple of moments, they call a virtual safety car. Very debated about whether or not the virtual safety car was needed, considering the amount that was going down on track and the fact that Sainz was parked up. You do get it put into context a little bit more when you see the clip of Liam Lawson nearly running 2 people over by accident, okay? I'm not saying that Kiwis have it out for people and that they are just inherently more likely to do vehicular manslaughter, but my best friend is Kiwi, and she does look like someone that would do vehicular manslaughter, so let's just keep that in mind when we're talking about the virtual safety car. The lap is really short. I could see they probably wanted to just have like a little bit more time. They didn't just want everyone zooming around and having people. So safety wise, yes. Did I want it to happen? No, because I was pretty fucking cranky when they called it. They did get it cleared up pretty quickly, so cheers for that one, boys, but perhaps next time don't be annoying. Oh yeah, okay, the championship battle of it all. Now I am number 1 Copa, so I'm just gonna say it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It's 1 point. If next week, for whatever reason, Oscar finishes 1 place ahead of Lando, I'm pretty sure it switches back, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that would be right. If so, like, does it even matter? Yes. It's good for Lando, I guess. He's now leading. It is a big mental fuck to be like, well, I've been leading for X amount of time and now I suck. So hopefully he's got just some like awesome mental stability and is able to just build a bridge and get over it. Next time we're in Brazil. So basically what I need is just Oscar to finish ahead of Lando. Could he win? Maybe. I think Australia needs to have like a giant barbecue or something and just like pray or hope or something, whatever the hell we do in this country, for Oscar Piastri to do better. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Sports Report. I hope you are excited for Interlagos, because I know I am. It always brings out a little bit of drama. We shall see you next time. Adios.